Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. Finally, I am back with another video. Yes, it's been a little while. Just been pretty busy lately, and I haven't really been finding anything in the store. But in case any of you guys saw my recent short that I posted on YouTube, I did find, or at least I acquired 3 new Jurassic World products, and really happy to get into them because I'm really excited to take a look at them. We're going to start with one of those today for this review, and today that is going to be a review for the Jurassic World Dominion Extreme Damage Dimetrodon. So yes, this is not a new figure at all for this year. This has been in stores since last year, I believe, for the Dominion toy line when that first released. And yeah, I finally managed to get it now. I know it's been one that I've been kind of debating whether I wanted it or not. I decided I did because, I really do like the colors, and this Dimetrodon sculpt is far more superior than Mattel's previous sculpt back in 2019. And, it's nice to get a little group of them, especially in this awesome looking sculpt. Basically, I've already cut the figure out because I had to open it. But here's a brief look at the packaging. It's the normal extreme damage packaging for the Dominion line we've been seeing for a very, very long time. And then here it is on both sides, just the Jurassic World Dominion logo. Here it is on the back, just shows you the 2 figures that I guess were available at the time. They still are, but they're not new. I have them both, and then just shows you facts up information. It has double-sided damage, the basic extreme damage gimmick. But nothing too crazy to go over. So we'll just go ahead and pop this figure out and get rid of the packaging. This might actually be my very last extreme damage figure to review, only because it looks like Mattel isn't going to continue this line since they kind of moved away from extreme damage and moved to epic damage, which they replaced this awesome gimmick right here with electronic sounds, which it is debatable. I like them, but I don't really think it's necessary, especially how they had to upscale some of their smaller dinosaurs like the Dilophosaurus and Velociraptor. That's why I was never interested in those, because they were just not in scale at all, which kind of made it hard to want to acquire them. But the Carnotaurus is pretty cool. Maybe I'll get that one. I'm not entirely sure. I guess time will only tell. I really love this gimmick. Probably much better than electronic sounds, but, it is what it is. Mattel's just trying to find new ways to please us and get our attention, which I do appreciate. So here is our extreme damage Dimetrodon. It is the exact same sculpt as the other Dimetrodon that was released with the Alan Grant set. Taking a look at the detail here, it's your standard, Mattel detailing, which is looking awesome as usual, especially for this Dimetrodon, which looks really great. Really liking the detail. The fine scales are all over, from the head through the body, to the tip of the tail. Even on the underside has a little bit of that textured feeling, which looks really nice. And then same with the legs and the arms. They're all sculpted very nicely, which looks really good. And I love the iconic osteoderms here on the body, which are reminiscent to the Dimetrodon scene in Dominion, which is really nice. But yeah, very, nothing different on the sculpt side of things, but it is a very nice sculpt nonetheless. In terms of articulation, you got a jaw hinge, which can open and close, which the teeth are nicely sculpted as usual and nicely painted. Same with the inside of the mouth, except for the roof of the mouth. That one's not painted, unfortunately. But you got this jaw hinge right here, and then the neck can move down about that far, which is nice, though I don't really plan on using it too much since it kind of breaks up the sculpt of the sail right here. And it can go back up, and then it can also twist from side to side if need be. And then the arms, actually there is a bit of added articulation, with all these extreme damage figures. They always have extra arm articulation, so instead of going forwards and backwards, which yes, they still do, but they have the added hinge rotation, which is really nice, really interesting to add it on a Dimetrodon, because it's kind of weird if you're going to have its arms like this, but you know, it is what it is. And then this arm can move the same way, and then that hinge can also move from side to side as well. So very nice there. And then the legs are standard. They can move forward and backwards. And I guess also, until I forgot, they have the hip hinge right here, which the original did not have. So very interesting there. And then the tail, I believe the tail can move, but mine's not moving, so I'm not going to force it. And that's really it for articulation. Everything else is tied to the action feature. First off, here's the scan code, which is in the exact same place as the original. And then you got an extra button right here. They can hide all sorts of things on the sails of these things, but this controls the battle damage mechanism. So I really do like this feature a lot. For colors, the colors are really slightly different than the original. I really do like the colors in this one. That's probably one of the reasons why I like this one as well. I love the plain green, or like the olive type green that they have throughout the main body, and they have a darker brown patterning on the around the eye, or this part of the skull, and then here on the back. And then you got a lighter color for the underside, or at least the neck and the lower jaw. Would have been nice for it to continue all the way down. And then you got a really nice bright red sail, which with some nice, you know, striping. The only complaint I really have of this figure is the stripes not continuing down through this half of the sail. Like, I guess it's fine if it's not on this side, because it didn't. That's the same thing with the original, but I really wish these markings would have continued to this part, because on the original they went all the way down to like here. So it's kind of distracting to see how half of the sail's like painted with this stripe design, and then it just doesn't show up here. So that's the only downside I have this figure. It really reminds me of the Dimetrodon statue seen in Fallen Kingdom. Here is a scale with the human. Here's my 93 classic Dr. Alan Grant, since Dimetrodon faced off with Alan Grant in Dominion. So they scale very nicely. It's just the exact same scaling. Here is the original Dimetrodon that came with the Alan Grant set, which they actually look really nice together, I gotta say. I definitely want to get some pictures of these two together at some point. Very similar. I think that's one of the things I like too, how they're very similar. They're not like totally different, so you can definitely tell that they belong together, because some of the patterns and the colors may vary here and there, but it's really nice. It's basically the exact same color design, or like at least the way it's applied, but it's just a bit different. You know, they have all the markings on the face, and then on the back, and then they have the sails, and then the main darker color, and then the lighter color for the jaw. Though the lighter color doesn't continue on the neck with this one, which is very interesting, and this one does. So I guess this thing has some things that are a bit better than this one, but and also this one has more of a slit eye, and this one has more of a pupil, so very different there. If I had to pick one, it'd probably go with the original, you know, because this one's based on the actual Dimetrodon in Dominion. And I just love the colors on this one. I love the earthy tones on this one, and I love the design on the sail much better than the extreme damage one. But yeah, that's about to wrap it up for this little review of this Dimetrodon. I really like it. You know, it's a solid figure. I love the extreme damage feature added. I love the colors. You know, the sculpt is awesome. The only complaint is just the stripes not continuing down to this part. But other than that, it's a very solid Dimetrodon figure, and I'm really happy to finally have it in my collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next review.